Plaintiff Vicky DiCarlo rented a room in the defendant's apartment. And within the first week of living there, the defendant called the police on her 3 times, claiming she felt scared. Vicky claims the defendant served her with an eviction notice after only 2 weeks, and she's suing for emotional distress. Defendant Cynthia Anderson says she first called the police on Vicky after she confessed that she was selling prescription pills and running an internet scam. Cynthia claims the second time she called the police, it was after Vicky threatened her life. So she's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Well, I had an ad posted on Craigslist for a 61-year-old female with 2 kitties that I adore, looking for a new place to live. Miss Anderson responded to my ad, text back that she had the perfect places in PURR for kitties. I went over there with my best friend and my witness statement, and she seemed rather nice and normal. It was a little bit of an older apartment building. I asked if I could please think about it for 24 hours. She subsequently called me back that evening to convince me to move in. That's when I agreed to do so.
What was it like living there?
Well, she was working quite a bit. She was gone most of the time. I have never had a roommate before, but I would have thought I was fabulous. I was a live-in housekeeper, housewife. All I did was clean out 6 kitty boxes all day, sweep up the litter, make sure everything would be perfect, and all she had to do when she came in would be relax and say hello to her kitties. Things were fine.
Okay, so something went bad, but we'll get to that.
Plaintiff Vicky DiCarlo rented a room in the defendant's home, but the defendant claims she was forced to call the police after Vicky threatened her life.
You give me some background?
She had 2 cats, and that really moved my heart because I had 3 cats already living there, and she wanted to take care of them. And so I did reach out to her to move in, and we discussed it, and I did, kind of try to make her feel comfortable moving in.
All right, and how was it with her living there?
She did help with the cats because that was part of our agreement with moving in, is that she would help with the cats while I was gone 16 hours a day.
Okay.
So
what went wrong?
Within the first week, she called the College Park, which is a little city
Suburb
right outside
of
of
Atlanta, I know.
3 different times.
Saying what?
She was scared. Never once did they even want to speak with me.
She called the police on you. How many times?
3.
And she never told the police what it was about, to your knowledge?
She just told them she felt scared. The officer said, "Of what?" Her answer was, "I do not know."
And you still don't know?
And they never asked to speak with me at all.
And you still don't know?
Never have.
Okay, this is a good time to ask. The first time you called the police on her, in fact, why don't you just ask her, why did you call the police
Miss
that first
Anderson,
time?
why did you call the police the first time?
when you came to my kitchen after a long day of work, you came in and handed me a black man's social security card and ID. You're obviously not a black man. You don't have a social security. Why do you have a social security ID of a man? You asked me to help you dispose of it, put it in my hand. Then you went on to tell me that you sell your prescription medication for $500 a month. And then you went on to tell me about more illegal activity that you normally do. Like you have a domain name that says VickyDiCarlo.com, and you used to scam people by telling them to send you money for no product at all so that you could get money.
This is the first time when you called the police?
That is why I called the police.
Do you recall saying any of these things to her?
No, sir.
So you deny everything she just said?
Everything.
And so you believe she made all that stuff up to call the police the first time?
Because she felt scared.
Yeah, and she said why? Did you call a second time?
Yes, I did.
Why did you call a second time?
Because after the first time that the police came to mediate the conversation where I was going to ask her to offer to give her money back and ask her to leave because of her illegal activity, she went crazy on me, said she's a Dr. Vicky DiCarlo, that she told me she never worked a day in her life. She says she's a doctor. She says that she threatened me that if I ever call the police again, she would retaliate against me, and that she threatened to kill me with a 3-pound steak. And I said, my life is in danger. I do not feel safe in my home.
So I'm going to call the police.
So I'm calling the police. She threatened me if I called again, got into my face and said, I am a crazy lady.
Got it.
Never seen
Do you have a police report?
In all of them moving, I have nowhere to live right now. I
Okay.
haven't able to get
Do you
one.
remember that?
I remember
that happen?
probably saying that and probably much more.
Okay.
I was,
Why?
Because you do not call if you have a problem with someone and it's a very tiny apartment, you come and you speak with me if there's a problem. She would send me text messages from the bedroom as opposed to coming up with me.
All right. And third time, why did you call them?
Because she threatened my life and my cats, and I felt unsafe. And the
How
police
did
are
it
telling
come up this time? You keep saying she threatened. I got the first two
Okay.
threats. The third threat, what happened? What provoked that incident?
The incident is that the night before, I had given her an eviction letter in writing,
Got it.
and she told me the next day that she was going to move more things into the apartment. And I asked her kindly not to do that thing. I actually have it on record if we can listen to the recording.
Yes.
Yes.
And I have
Your Honor.
written eviction.
Hold on, ma'am.
She has threatened my life, and she's threatened to harm my cats. And I don't appreciate her threatening that she's going to call dope boys on the street.
Again, at this moment, this is civil. If it continues forward, it will become a criminal action, and then at that time, it will be determined who, what, and when action is taken. So I would suggest that y'all both take a mature stand on this and make the best of it.
I would appreciate that you make a note that I am not the one that is called.
Yes, ma'am, all right.
Thank you for your time, sir. Sorry she disturbed you again.
All right. Police just told you guys to chill out. And lastly, you have something you wanted to tell me. What is it?
It's the note that she left me
Saying what?
that I was being evicted.
Okay, this is her eviction notice. This is
No formal notice was ever
Got
given.
it. This is formal. All right. When somebody writes you, they don't have to have it necessarily on a particular form. They can tell you, I want you to move out and hand that to you. And then they have to go and get a court order, however, in order to have you move out. Unless you got that, ma'am, she did not have to move out. But what did happen when you received this notice?
She turned off the power, sir.
That's what I need to hear.
She took my
How long
money.
after giving you this did she turn off the power?
Within 4 days or 5
Okay.
days.
Ma'am, did you turn off the power on her after giving her this notice? And if so, how long thereafter?
Okay, I moved out after giving her notice. The next morning after giving her
You
the notice,
moved.
I moved all of my stuff, and I didn't have money to do it, but I moved all my stuff out because I did not feel safe.
Plaintiff Vicky DiCarlo rented a room in the defendant's home, but the defendant claimed she was forced to call the police after Vicky threatened her life.
Did you turn the lights off within 3 or 4 days of giving her this notice?
I did because I had moved out and was not able to pay the bill.
All right. And you did not get a legal eviction or order saying she must move out. You
I
do?
did go to the court and get
Do
a
you have that?
dispossessory.
Do you have it?
By the time they did come to give it to her, she had already moved most of her things out of the apartment and was gone.
And so they just took it back.
So they just said, call the police, or they said, call the courthouse the following
They
business
said
day.
that to who?
They said that to me.
And what they do with the order?
They took it back with them. The marshal took it with him.
Okay. And your counterclaim, how does she owe you?
$3,000 of emotional distress.
What did she do?
She threatened my life, my cats, to the point that now I have nowhere to live. I have no place to go. I've been asking friends. I missed 3 days of work trying to find a place to live. Because of this incident, I've been scared for my life. This lady has called my phone since I left.
Let me ask you this. Why don't you think the police ever took you seriously when you called them 3 times saying this woman has threatened my life?
That what the police told me was because she's living there, it is civil and they can't get involved into a civil situation that it has to go through the courts.
I know a lot of criminals want to hear that. All you got to do is move in with somebody. You threaten them, rob them, do whatever you want. Police come. This is a civil matter. I can threaten her life all I want.
I was also shocked myself.
All right, you were shocked, but the police told you it was civil, so her threatening your life
You're threatening my life, and I did
is
tell them that.
only a civil claim.
Exactly, I was
All
surprised.
right, you sound unreasonable. I don't believe you. You don't have a copy of your court order? I don't believe the story you gave me. I don't believe you received a court order to put her out. I think that all you did was give her this, and since she didn't move in time, as she says, you turned her lights out. That is a what, ma'am?
I do have a TPO that I
That's a
filed in the
protection
same.
order. I know about all this. All right. Judgment for the plaintiff. This was an illegal eviction, turning her lights off within days of giving her a notice. Many landlords do it, and many landlords get treble damages, which is triple, which she would be entitled to. I'm giving her $3,000 that she has asked for and dismissing your claim. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a
Thank
good
you, Your
day.
Honor. I wish her only the best, but I am very glad that Judge Mathis saw I was in the right and I did win the case.